So today I want to share with you some sewing tips, some things that I have learned throughout my sewing. So yeah, let's get started. Okay, so the first sewing tip that I have for you today is related to needles. We probably have all heard that we should be changing our needles. I am one that would not change my needle very often. So what I've decided to do is that I'm going to start changing my needles a little bit more. And the reason is because I saw a blog post about Schmetz Needles, which are the needles that I pick up when I'm out shopping. And what I saw on their website was they showed a picture, an image of a needle that had been used. And to the naked eye, the needle looked like it was just fine. But this needle has been magnified on the blog post, and it shows the different images of the needles, and when you get to the fourth image of the same needle that has been zoomed in on, you can see that in all actuality the needle that looks like it's pretty sharp to the naked eye is really very blunt on the tip. And the way that you could tell that you may need to change your needle, I have to read some of this, so I apologize for looking down, is that you may have shredded or broken threads, you may have skipped stitches, your fabric may pucker, you might have uneven seams, and you might even notice a popping or a clunking sound coming from your sewing machine. So those are some things that may happen as a result of having a dull needle. And I will show you a picture of the magnified, the needle that I was talking about that has been magnified, so you can see exactly what it looks like. All right, here it comes. Okay, yeah, so after I saw that needle, it was an eye-opener for me, and I was like, wow, that is amazing. I didn't realize just how dull the needles can actually get. That was something that I wanted to share with you, and like I said, I am going to start changing my needles a little more often now. Okay, so the second thing that I learned was from the Sew Out Loud podcast. And what I learned from that podcast is that you should always thread your machine with your presser foot in the up position. And the reason for that is that you want to make sure that your tension is proper. So by making sure that you have your presser foot up, that will ensure that your machine is sewing at the proper tension. Now the third tip that I want to share is with regard to Pinterest. This is a tip that I learned from Tip Stitched, and she has a YouTube channel, so I will link her information below. What she said that she does is she logs all of her patterns into Pinterest. So I did the same thing. So that has become very handy, because if I need to look up a pattern, if I'm out and about, or even if I'm, at home and I want to look up something really quickly, I don't have to just go into my sewing room. I can just pull up whatever I need to on one of my devices, and then just, figure out what I want to know just from doing it with my fingertips. So I love that tip. Now, let's see. The fifth tip that I want to share is, again, with regard to the Schmetz Needles. This tip came from their website, Schmetz, that's so hard for me to say, schmetzneedles.com. What I wanted to share, and I do have a picture that I will show you, is that on the Schmetz needles themselves, most of them have two colors. So you will see two bands of colors. The top color band will identify the needle type. So it will tell you whether it should be an embroidery, whether that is an embroidery needle or a needle for denim or anything like that. So that will tell you the type of needle that is based on the color. The lower band of colors, the lower band color will identify the needle size. So you can look at that color, you can go to the chart and say, oh, okay, this is a red. Well, that means that is this size because all the red band colors are size whatever the chart says. So yeah, I thought that was really, really interesting. And then the universal Schmetz needles, which I tend to use a lot of, they only have one color on those. and that one band of color will identify the needle size. So I will show you an image of what those look like, and then maybe, next time if you buy the Schmetz needles, that will give you kind of an idea of what you have, what needle you're working with. Okay, so the last tip that I want to share with you is that if you are working with any of the big four pattern companies, which are McCall, Simplicity, Butterick, or Vogue, if you get stuck while you're working on a pattern, you can actually call. They have a toll-free number, and you can pick up the phone and give them a call, and you will have a person that will answer the phone, and they will help you on whatever number or whatever questions or whatever you're concerned with in the pattern. I have actually used that number, and I've called, and it has been such a help to be able to have someone walk you through the steps, if you're not understanding something in the pattern. So they will pull it up, say, hey, what pattern are you working on? What number, what step are you stuck on? Oh, this is what you should do. Oh, what that means is this. And I have done that, and it is just I'm going to say it was a blessing to me. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so wonderful. So I wanted to share that with you in case you didn't know that. I will put their phone number on the I will put their phone number down below so that you can see what the phone number is. So yeah, those are the tips that I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. And before I go, the love share for today is something that I learned that I thought was like, wow, interesting, right? And that is that in the Netherlands, every year they have a worldwide eyebrow festival. That's it. I thought that was interesting because I didn't realize that there was so much that you can do with eyebrows, but apparently there is. So I wanted to share that with you. Maybe you know someone who loves eyebrows or wants to maybe attend or learn more about that. So anyway, I wanted to share that just because it was something I learned, and I thought you might appreciate it or learn something from it as well. So thank you again for watching, and I will see you next time.